Order! Order! Today is the first Parliament meeting for our new President, Scott Drake. This is Scott Drake's first appearance here at the Red House to discuss with the other party leaders about the plans of the future of the RSE to bounce back from what happened in the previous year in 2020. So, have your questions right now, please, to discuss with Scott Drake right now in this very room. So, stand up, please. The leader of the Stop Trump campaign, Joe Biden. Thank you, Your Honour. Well, let me discuss to the new president of the RSV of respect, and this is new to him as he's the new RSV president. What are we going to do with the healthcare plan in this nation? Our stakes in the healthcare plan was low since 2015, and it's gone worse every once a year to fund the healthcare on people who go to hospital, who get ill, and all of a suddenly die. What can we do differently to really help our healthcare plan bounce even more better as it is right now? And I know you're new, so I'm not going to really criticise you one bit. Obviously, it's got to take time. But what's your plans about the healthcare plan as you are the new president of this nation? Please, Mr. Thank you, the other party leader, about healthcare plan. Let me discuss what my plans are in the healthcare plan. I realise and I know since before I ran for the presidency, our party does believe in the healthcare plan in terms of raising the funds and make it even 10 times better in hospitals across the country. We will make sure we have that. We'll make sure that we put everything in place with the healthcare plan in this very year. And we've got a package to send to the Republican Health Service that we are going to make sure we do things perfectly well in terms of A&E treatments, funding for surgeries, funding for things that people need. Because more people have died in hospitals in those time of the 5 years. And we can improve on things when I'm in charge. We can improve on cures of diseases. We want to try and fund the cures of cancer, cures of viruses and illnesses, and that's what we're going to try and do this year. The 5 years beforehand, we all know that it's been a failure in this nation about the healthcare plan. But we will make sure that we put it in place. And I know that Conor Keane was the RSV president at the time when the fundings dropped. But we didn't know how bad it was until now, as you discussed it with us. And we will make sure that we rise the funds in the RHS and give them the most quality of need on patients who go into intensive care and also in any other medical needs. Thank you there, Mr. President. Now let's go now to the leader of the policy party, Drew Gulak. Mr. President, what things are you going to put in place in the policies in the RSV? We want to discuss about the migration I want to talk about right now on behalf of the Republican person who writing to me about the immigration policy. What can we have that can tackle the illegal immigrations to come to this nation illegally? Have we got that in place in your new presidency? Because we need to make sure we control our borders. We've got borders with France, Portugal, Spain, and also from the coast from England and the UK. What can we do to stop those people coming in illegally? We need to discuss this, Scott Drake, because that is a policy that should be toughened, because we can't really afford and allow to have loads of people in this nation trying to steal things, trying to find a house, trying to do things they shouldn't be doing, and even drugs as well, even more. What can we do to stop that? What can we do to tackle it because it's nice if we can know right now your plan on the immigration. Yes, our plans on the immigration policy. We will make sure we put things in place in the immigration, illegal migrants coming in illegally. We will put things in place when we are the president. We know that Donald Trump wasn't a saint and we all didn't like what he did in this nation. But the best thing he did is to close the borders and not let people come in who shouldn't be here. And that will still continue. But we got to be more tougher, like what Trump did, maybe. But we've got to be even more tougher in terms of making it fair. That's what we need to do. Not make it like directly abuse them, not directly abuse them and kill them, like what Trump would have done last year. We will do things a bit differently by giving them a fine and they'll be sent over respectively back to their homeland if they come here illegally. And that's what we're going to be doing when I'm the RSV president. We're going to do things more differently. We're going to do things that we can actually control and respect. We have to have that because we need to deal with our borders, deal with how can we have a relationship with the countries around our borders or outside our borders, let's say. Because if more people come over, you're right, we need to stop that, but do it in a respective way, a respective manner, and we might get things solved in that direction instead of actually abusing them and chucking them out just like that. That's what I believe is right as the RSV president, because we don't tolerate discrimination in this nation. Let's go back to the leader of the Stop Trump campaign right now, Joe Biden, to discuss question to Scott Drake. Mr. President, we want to discuss about what can we do in the next 5 more years' time to make sure we have the economic growth stronger than ever. Because in 2018, in 2019, in 2020, our stock rate was low. But what can we do differently to improve our economic growth in 4 years down the line, Mr. President? Our economic growth is something that we really need to focus on. Because we've dropped relationships with countries that we had friendships with them for the last 20 or 23 years. We had problems on having the European Union and many other nations being against what we had to do in that circumstances we faced against Russia. To build back our relationships and build back our growth as an economic nation, we need to do that. We need to build our economic nation. We need to build it and make it as it was before. We know since 2018, 2019 was bad, even a lot worse than when Trump was obviously president. But our aim as well, also, as we are a national party, will make sure that we have our economic growth grow. Maybe not 4 years, maybe I might go for 2 years from now on. But we got to play a part and make sure we can do things perfectly well on now until these 2 more years' time. 4 years, our plan by then is to try and have the relationships already been done with the nations we had fallen out with due to the Trump regime. Now, let's go now to the leader of the Policy Party with our last question here today in the Red House, Mr. Gulak. Thank you, Your Honour. Mr. President, what can we do now to build back our relationship with Russia? Since last year, we had this problem with the Trump regime dictating us, picking on us to make sure we fight against our future allies. What can we do now to start building bridges with the Russian government about what happened last year and what happened in the Trump regime? Can we solve that maybe by this year or next year or the year after that? Mr. Gulak, I think it's more appropriate if we start building bridges with the other nations starting from this year. I believe that we got to give it time and give it more time to have a relationship with the Russian government about what can we do as a nation to build back together. It's going to take time due to what happened and what Trump, how he upset the Russian government, how he upset them quite a lot and you know, what happened in that story last year. I think it's too early to say my plans on against having that relationship with Vladimir Putin and the Russian government. I think the plan is we have to have a relationship with the other countries we lost through the years. Relationship with Spain, relationship with a big trade deal with the UK, also France, also many other nations except for Russia for now on. But you never say never. We will try and see if we can solve things between Russia and also our Republican government. So that will be our plan when I'm the president for now until whenever I actually lose the election next time around. But the plan is that I will make sure that I do everything what it takes in my power in the future, perhaps, to have that relationship with Russia and build back as a good trading deal with them. So, yes, I'm not going to rule that out, but I think it's too early to say. Order, order, order. This is the end of the Parliament speech here today, and you all can be dismissed in the Parliament of Law, and we'll be back shortly on what can we do differently as Scott Drake's our new president. You all can be dismissed.